Hello everyone, welcome back to Royal News Network. My name is Brittany and today we are talking about the first picture of Lilibet Diana Mountbatten-Windsor and what this could mean for Harry and Meghan's kind of imploding media empire. Because many people have called out this move of releasing this first birthday picture as kind of desperate for the pair. And I really think it is. And I'm going to give you a couple of reasons why and why I think this Jubilee weekend for them was pretty much kind of an epic disaster. So if you guys haven't been to Royal News Network before, my name is Brittany and we talk about everything related to royals. So that's news, gossip, fashion, jewelry, television shows, movies, and history. We will do it all right here. So if you would like to subscribe, that will be great. And I just got back from the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. So I have a ton of coverage and thoughts and I went to different palaces and I can't wait to share with you guys everything I kind of learned and enjoyed and just kind of showing you all the royals. So those will all be coming up and I'll also be doing a couple of giveaways for some of the kind of Jubilee exclusive items that I was able to get while I was in London. So I can't wait to show you guys all of those things. And like I said, today we were talking about the release of Lily's first birthday picture. And this was a bit of a surprise. And thankfully, Harry and Meghan were somewhat smart here and released it the day after the Jubilee coverage. But you almost get the expectation that Harry and Meghan were hoping that, you know, it would either eclipse the Jubilee coverage, it would dominate the news cycle, everybody would be so excited. Oh my gosh, we finally seen Lilibet, the child who we've only seen in profile in a Christmas picture and we don't really know anything about her and stuff. And they released a picture and it's, she's obviously very cute and beautiful. She's just, pretty much an innocent little girl. And so, she is darling and lovely, but you know what? Her parents are something else. And I really think this was kind of a way for them to try to steal some of the media narrative back from the royal family, the Cambridges, Prince Louis, the Queen, all these different things. And you know what? It fell flat on its face because I was actually at Heathrow Airport kind of flying out the day after the picture had been released, and it was on the cover of The Sun. It wasn't given like a full page spread or anything, but it was on the cover. The Sun had the exclusive, so they were the only print edition that was able to get the picture in before the print went out that night. And honestly, guys, it was kind of at the same level. You can see it here. Because she's on it, it's not flying off the shelves. And what does that tell us? Well, that Harry and Meghan just don't have as much currency in the media as they think they do. And I really think this weekend was and this picture was kind of a Hail Mary to try to go, yes, we are still important. Yes, we are still, members of the British royal family. We are important. Our kids are up in the line of succession. And the rest of the public went, well, so we saw the rest of the Windsors this weekend and we kind of really like them because we saw Mike Tindall and Zara Phillips and they were exchanging hats. He kept, posing wearing her hats, was just awesome. He clearly has fun with this. He is well loved by other members of the British royal family. And then we also saw in the last day of the pageant, obviously there was Prince Louis, and I'll get to him. But we also saw just the Windsors there, and we saw many of the great grandkids, actually even some of the babies. So we saw baby August for the first time, and oh my gosh, his blue eyes are insane. He's so cute. And we saw baby Lucas, which is Zara Phillips and Mike Tindall's their youngest son, and so August is Princess Eugenie's son. Princess Beatrice's daughter, Sienna, is probably a bit too young because she's like, I think 6-7 months. So she's a little bit too young for something like that. But, we saw them being a family, Catherine comforting Mia, the kids interacting. Like, they're obviously a very, very close family. And these cousins, these second cousins, spend a lot of time together. And what do we get for Lily? We get a picture of her by herself and then a picture with her mother where her mother is, not wearing a lot of makeup. Meghan's not wearing a lot of makeup. She looks very smiley. She looks very happy. And the photographer's wife and kids. You just look at that and you go, well, there's the rest of this family here and you're over there. And you know what? The Windsors seem like a family and you seem, I don't know, kind of cagey, closed off, cold, distance for not a good reason, really. Because again, you see the Windsors and they're close and they seem like a family and a unit together and they do rely on each other a lot. And I really loved this quote from Zara Phillips. It was recently in an article with The Telegraph talking about how, hey, there's all these other kind of minor royals. And you know what? The rest of the, kind of the main seven, so that's the Queen, Charles, Camilla, Edward and Sophie, Catherine and William, and Princess Anne. So I guess they're the main seven, and the Queen would be the eighth. But they're undergoing the majority of the engagements, and they may need some people from time to kind of tap in. And you know what? I think Zara Phillips would be one of them, and that's what the Daily Telegraph suggested. And her quote, which I love, is that, "As soon as you've got a title, it's very difficult to shed it," she once said. Asked if she considered herself royal, she replied, "Probably not. But then they are my family, so I obviously kind of am." And you know what? I kind of love that, because royals are a family, and Harry and Meghan look incredibly cut off. And, the releasing of this picture kind of looks desperate, as if they're trying to regain some of that traction and attention the rest of the royal family was getting. And honestly, it just looks strange. So we know that Lilibet was at Windsor at her parents' house, and the only people we know for sure were her parents and Archie. We hope so. We have no pictures of Harry or Archie with anyone. But we do have the photographer's wife and children, because we all want to know who the photographer is and who his wife and children are, because that's just so important. And I really think Harry and Meghan's narrative about the British royal family being kind of awful and terrible and cold and distant and everything, it was shattered this weekend. They've had a bad weekend, because that idea that the Windsors are just this terrible cold institution, which may have been somewhat true when Diana was alive, is pretty much gone now. And so you look at the rest of the royal family, and you know what? They were warm, they were lovely, they were having fun. And what do Harry and Meghan do? Don't go to anything. Go to the church service, get booed, look like you're wearing a mic, and then go home. That's like that's all they did this weekend. And so it's like, why even go? And again, it just comes down to, I think the huge thing is they're desperate. Things are not going well for Harry and Meghan, I don't think. They haven't, we don't have any release date for Meghan's new Spotify series. And honestly, it doesn't sound that interesting. It's called Archetypes, and she kind of goes in and is trying to dismantle female stereotypes, even though we've had things that have already done that. So honestly, it doesn't sound that interesting. Her animated show Pearl has been canceled by Netflix. Obviously, because Meghan is a huge name, if the series was really good and they were really excited about it, they would have done it. But I'm going to guess it was either in development hell, or Meghan was incredibly difficult to work with. Or maybe the show was really, really bad. Those are kind of the three reasons why, given the name of Meghan and Harry, that they would go ahead and say, you know what, we're just going to pass on this. We're not even going to try. That's not good news for them. And then they don't have anything else scheduled to go up on Netflix yet, except we have heard that they are doing a reality TV show. I refuse to call it a docu-series. It's a reality television show, keeping up with the Sussexes, basically. And they're doing this, and so we've seen them with Netflix cameras and everything. And that was a huge part of, I think, why they were shunned by the rest of the royal family, is nobody knew if they were being recorded or not. There's so little trust in Harry and Meghan anymore. Nobody wants to talk to them because they're so worried that their words will be used against them for Netflix. And so the entire royal family is taking a giant step back from Harry and Meghan, and yet they're desperately trying to push themselves to the forefront. Because, you look at an actress like Reese Witherspoon. Does she release pictures on every birthday of her children? No. We see pictures of her kids from time to time on Instagram and stuff like that, and that's fine, but she's not like releasing them to the news media going, well, you got to cover and post pictures of my children. And that's what Harry and Meghan did, and was kind of a desperate attempt again. Even though they hate the monarchy, they use the monarchy all the time to try to get ahead. And that's what they're doing here. They saw the monarchy, they've seen all the attention the rest of the monarchy is getting. It's like, oh, we'll remind everybody, yes, we are royal too. But that doesn't really work when you're not spending any time with your family. At this point, like the Telegraph said, the Telegraph has whole articles like, let's pull up the second string. Let's pull up the B and C list royals. Let's get them to work. And you know what? I think people would be engaged in that, because they're not engaged in Lily and Archie because we don't see them. So when this picture came out, I felt like there was kind of a, oh, she's cute. And then kind of everybody was done. Even though, like, Louis's pictures, especially the paint picture, oh my gosh, for his second birthday. It was his second or third birthday. Either way, that was so incredibly darling. That Catherine got those pictures shows how close she is. Her kids, his pictures this year were darling, and she's getting better and better. And, you know, how cool would it have been to have Auntie Catherine take the picture of Lily? But, you know, Harry and Meghan just don't want to share attention, and they really, again, want to focus on, well, you know, Lily, she's a great grandchild of Her Majesty too. It's like, well, so she's not any better than any of the rest of them. She may be a bit higher in the line of succession, but we've seen a whole lot of kids this weekend who I would be much more interested in giving a title to than Lily at this point. And so Harry and Meghan, again, they're just desperate. They want this attention. Things are not going well. They didn't get their picture with the Queen. I mean, there's so little trust, they couldn't even bring a good photographer to take a picture of them with Lily. You know what they actually should have done? Them with Lily and the Queen. You know what they actually should have done is have Catherine do it, and Catherine holds on to the pictures. Which is, again, it just shows how far Harry and Meghan have fallen and how little the family trusts them. I mean, Harry used to have a great relationship with his family, and now it's been completely destroyed. And for what? I mean, they looked kind of miserable when they landed in California, but I think it's just because, you know, they got booed when they went to the church service at St. Paul's, and I don't think they were expecting that. And they just continue to look like they're just going downhill more and more and more and more. And so this Jubilee weekend, I think for them was like, oh, we'll regain attention. And, you know, if it doesn't quite work, you know, we'll release the picture of Lily and something to that effect. But you know who entirely disrupted their narrative? Do you know who stole the show for the entire Jubilee weekend besides the Queen? It was Prince Louis. Everybody is talking about Louis. Everyone. And it's, you know, his behavior, you know, a lot of people question it. I think I'll do a whole video on it. I think, you know, he was just a 4-year-old boy who was tired and was bored. I was at that parade. It was a long freaking parade. I was an adult and I was bored. At about an hour and a half in, I was on my phone most of the rest of the time because it was just actually very, very dull after a while. It was kind of just the same thing. The buses went by, that was cool. And then they should have ended it. There was a float parade called Celebration, and it was kind of this big light thing, and there were people on it. It reminded me a bit of a Disney float, and I was like, oh my gosh, that would have been the perfect float to end it on, and yet I kept going for another hour. So I totally understand why he was bored. Totally. And, you know, a lot of people question, I think Catherine did an excellent job parenting. She did not snap. She did not lose her cool. She was calm, collected, dealing with him, and eventually sent him out because, you know, that was the best she could do. But that was some supreme mothering there. And in addition, we got, you know, some videos today of Mia cuddling up with Catherine, you know, looking for something. You know, she was just a bit upset. You know, Charlotte rubbed her back. And so we're seeing all this, and it's like Harry and Meghan are like, but see, we're important too. We're important too. And it's just not flying with anyone anymore. They've decided that they wanted to be celebrities. And if you are going to be a celebrity and not royalty, A, nobody cares when your child's birthday is. Nobody really does. You know, seeing your kid is cute and it's fun, but, you know, we're not generally all that invested. Although I will say, if you do watch celebrity kids grow up, it is kind of fun because you get to see them when they're babies and when they're adults, you know, just out and about with their parents. That's fine. But you don't need like a media selected, very publicly announced, you know, birthday thing going, oh, look, here's our daughter. Didn't you miss seeing her? And everybody's like, well, no. It would just be cute to actually know that they leave the house every once in a while. And so again, it just comes back to this thing where Harry and Meghan are definitely just flailing, I think. They are bleeding money, I think, in my opinion, and this whole Hollywood thing is not going well for them. They thought they would be the stars. They thought they would be going to all the A-list parties, and they're not. And so they're like, well, I guess we can, let's pull back. You know, we're still British members of the royal family. And unfortunately for them, I don't think people care as much anymore. And that's kind of a problem going forward. And so guys, let me know what you think of this video. Do you think that releasing the picture of Lily was actually kind of a desperate ploy by Harry and Meghan to kind of regain some of the traction they've lost from Louis? He was so adorable this weekend, and I think he's really become kind of the breakout star of the Windsors right now. And you know what? Everybody's forgetting about Harry and Meghan. Their performance at the church wasn't great. you know, nobody really cared. Everybody kept their distance because they were wondering, you know, if they had a camera on them or, you know, were mic'd and recording them. So there really is a severe distance now between Harry and Meghan and the rest of the British royal family, which is not good for Harry and Meghan, whose brand is entirely centered on the fact that they are former royals. But for how much longer? At this point, I really hope we get especially Beatrice up in the doing more royal engagements, the Tindalls. I would just love to see more of the, you know, the extended members of the family working for the monarchy. Because you know what? Harry and Meghan, they've left, they've made their bed, they got to lie in it. And seeing their kids would be cute from time to time, but honestly, I'm not that invested in their children. So anyways, guys, again, let me know what you think. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for all those who have subscribed. This channel keeps growing and I'm so excited, and we're kind of close-ish to hitting 5,000. It would be great if we could. So again, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again really, really soon. Bye.